We are all set then for the first ever World Test Championship final. On ESPN Cricinfo Match Day, I'm Ronald Kapoor. Joining me shortly to look ahead to the final between India and New Zealand, Sanjay Manjrekar and Dale Steyn. Gentlemen, big occasion. Let's get into our talking points. We start with New Zealand's selections then. And it seems like their quartet of fast bowlers, their first four are pretty clear, Dale. They've got Bolt, they've got Southee, they've got Jameson and Neil Wagner. Matt Henry had an excellent second test match against England. And Ajaz Patel is the only spin option, specialist spin option that they've gone with in that 15. How would you go about it?
Yeah, straight away you've got Bolt, Southee, and Wagner. I think those are your guys that you're gonna run with right there. And then it's just a decision whether they want the spinner or between Jamison, de Grandhomme. But what I can tell you about is Wagner, Bolt, and Southee have just kind of all the wins that New Zealand have required to win games to get them to this position. Those three seamers have been part of that lineup, and they are going to be the big damage causes in this Test match.
Yeah, we've seen the record for New Zealand when they do play Southee, Bolt, Wagner and Jameson had that excellent debut series against India. They just win all the time. So let's see if that goes on. But that's our next talking point as well. If they do send out four fast bowlers against India's top order, Sanjay, the challenge there, Rohit Sharma's never opened in Test cricket in England. Shubman Gill still early in his Test career. What's that first thought, or what's that tip that you need to give to the Indian openers ahead of this one?
What tip can I give? Ronak, we've seen it before. It's amazing when you land up in England and already people are talking about, you start leaving balls outside the off stump. And that's the reason I wanted somebody like a Hanuma Vihari to just bolster that batting lineup. That is a bit of a lottery at the top. Gill and Rohit Sharma as openers in those conditions. And I think Johannes' form of late. So India will rely heavily once again on Pujara's defense and Virat Kohli's greatness. But the one added advantage or a little spark that India now have in the Test batting lineup is Rishabh Pant. At the number that he bats will be a dangerous player for the opposition.
Does it balance out to a degree if India win what could be an important toss? We look at the numbers at Southampton, and batting first seems to be the way to go. That's 3 times the teams batting first have won. It's hard for a team batting in the 4th innings to win at Southampton. So, Dale, is this an important toss for India, more for India than for New Zealand?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the toss is always important, but the other thing is just like we said, just carrying on from our point before, you can win the toss, but if you're not Test match ready, it doesn't matter. Another team can be like, it's fine, we lost the toss, but we're good to go. So it's going to be an important toss to win. Especially at Southampton. But like I said, India have to really step up because they're a couple Test matches behind in their prep.
Interesting that, Sanjay. So what would be better for India? If they win the toss, trust their strong suit, their bowlers to make an impact early on, or bat first, which tends to be the traditional thought. You don't want to be batting 4th in a Test match and whatnot. What would be better for India?
The toss is an interesting thing, Ronak. I've been there many times as commentator, players, when they go for the toss and if there's overcast conditions there and they expect that to be there for the first couple of hours and they look at a pitch that has a nice healthy cover of grass, it will start off. No pitch in England will be devoid of grass. There will be some grass, it might be dry grass, but there will be grass. But when you look at the overhead conditions, you're tempted to bowl first, especially somebody like India with no match practice, batting being a little vulnerable in those conditions. So I don't think toss is going to be that crucial. If you win the toss and bat really well, that's a different matter. But if India lose the toss, I think that would be ideal for India because they don't want to take a call where they want to do the right thing, bat first. So I just hope for Virat Kohli's sake that they lose the toss. And of late, in Test cricket teams, losing tosses have won plenty of matches. So it's not the deciding factor like it is in an IPL game in a day-night scenario with the dew factor and stuff.
Well, if he's thinking like you, we'd be hoping for it because he's lost enough tosses as Virat Kohli. Let's see if it makes a big call or not. Dale Steyn and Sanjay Manjrekar, thank you very much. You'll be with us right through this first ever ICC World Test Championship final. So join us on ESPN Cricinfo Match Day.